Welcome back to the Bears Baseball Network. We have a fantastic show here today, one of my favorite shows of the year. We're going over our top 50 prospects here in the Bears. I'll tell you what, we have a loaded rookie class. We have a lot of guys who've been grinding on the second team looking for their shot, and I'm very excited about this show. Obviously, with the first weekend of Bears baseball, we had a lot of hacks this weekend. With the prospect show this week, the award show last week, we didn't have a hacking time, but our new hitting montage, if you're new to the Bears, we have a hitting montage called Hackin' Time. So if you get a double, triple, or home run on video, send it to bearsbaseballnetwork@gmail.com, and we'll put them into a hitting highlight montage. So be sure to send that in. We'll have a Hackin' Time next week. But today, Bernie, KJ, we've got our top 50 prospects. And again, I was telling Bernie before the show, when we did our first prospect list, it had 15 names on it. And I'll tell you what, those 13th, 14th names were kind of tough to get on there. Now, we've got 50 names on a prospect list, and there were some guys who, KJ, I didn't want to leave off. There were several guys who I thought couldn't make the top 50 that I really, really like. Just shows you how stacked the Bears are right now. So, to clarify what qualifies as a prospect, that is any player who has not had 50 career plate appearances with one of our varsity teams. So, a rookie is a guy in his first year with the Bears, but a prospect is a guy who has less than 50 career plate appearances on the top team. So, we've got a lot of rookies. We've got a lot of guys who've been grinding their way up the ranks here, and let's go ahead and jump right in with our number one prospect, KJ. This guy, he's coming into the Bears. He's big, he's powerful, he's in all the extra programs. He is doing everything right. It is Landon Portell. KJ, this guy going right to your top team, going to play a significant role. And this guy, KJ, when we look at a prospect, what more could you ask for than Landon Portell, our number one prospect? KJ, give me your thoughts.
Yeah, just a guy who does everything right. He can throw strikes on the mound. He makes easy plays, and I think his best quality is his bat. He can hit a little bit of everything. He crushes fastballs. He crushes curveballs. He crushes extra base hits. So this guy's just, he's got huge size as well. He's a hard worker. He's just a coach's dream.
And I'll tell you what, this guy can catch. He can play third. He can play first. He can probably play short if you need him to. And he's one of the top pitchers on the mound. Bernie, when you're looking to build a team like KJ is right now, obviously, you got to build your team with a guy like Harrison Blebaum. How important is it to have a guy who can really do it all that you can kind of build a core around, Bernie? What do you think about Landon Portell here, our number one prospect?
Yeah, obviously it's massive right now. He's going to be the best hitter on that team as of right now. But talking about carrying a pitching staff, carrying a defense even, I think Portell can do a little bit of it all.
Coming in at our number two prospect here in the Bears, we've got Landon's older brother, Bruce Portell. And I'll tell you what, both these guys are monsters. The only thing that gave Landon the edge between 1 and 2 is number one, Landon's a little bit younger, so he's got more time. And number two, where Landon gets to come in and kind of be, in the core of that 14U Floyd team, Bruce is coming into a team that is loaded, where he's going to be the 11th, 12th, 13th guy, and he's going to have to work his way into the depth chart. But Bernie, everything we said about Landon goes the same here for Bruce. Big, strong, all in. Bernie, for a guy like Bruce, right now I think he's kind of on the bench for that 16 Floyd team, but how long do you think it's going to take him before he's cracking that starting lineup?
Yeah, this guy throws hard on the mound. I think, if he wasn't on 16 Floyd, he's a lot of teams, one of their best pitchers. He's one of their best hitters. He's one of their best defenders. I still think that for the 16 Floyd team in the very near future, he could do that for them as well. I know that lineup's loaded, but Bruce Portell, should be mentioned around here as being a starter pretty soon.
This guy, KJ, I think is a future superstar. I know you've gotten to see him a lot, KJ, between practice and precision pitching. What do you think about this guy right now, KJ? Do you see him being a future first-team All-American? Do you see him competing for MVPs? What do you think is kind of the ceiling for Bruce Portell and the Bears?
Yeah, I think he'll be in the mix for MVP, All-American, but I think this guy is a legit pitcher. And he's big. He's got big size. But, this guy's breaking stuff is ridiculous. He throws hard, but he's got a curveball that's unbelievable. So I think this guy, when he gets innings, he's going to run with them.
Coming in at number 3 here on our top 50 prospects, we have our number one outfield prospect. And I'll tell you what, KJ, if this was a top 50 athletes in the Bears, this guy might be number one. This guy's an absolute unit. It's Aiden Miles here for 16U. KJ, this guy, again, super athletic. He'll go out, he's diving in practice, he's very fast, he's very strong, and I'll tell you what, if there's one knock on his game right now, it's the bat, but that's what the Bears do best, is develop guys as hitters. KJ, first impressions here, what are your thoughts on Aiden Miles, our number 3 prospect?
Yeah, Aiden's a beast, and he already looks the part, and I think the bat is easily going to come around for him. He already swings hard. He's got a rocket arm. He's fast. He's got a body you can just drool over, man. Pause, but he can kind of do it all, man.
Yeah, Bernie, I know for you, same thing. First impressions were very, very impressive from Aiden Miles. Again, the scouting report on him is maybe he's not, hitting's not the top part of his game right now, but he throws hard. He's a great defender. And I'll tell you what, in the cage, Bernie, he looks like he's got a lot of potential at the plate. What are your thoughts on Aiden Miles?
Yeah, look, like Kenny said, this guy has all the talent in the world right now. But this guy's mentality is, I ain't one of the best in the Bears, right? If you told him there was a brick wall to run through in front of him and he had to run through it for the team, I think he'd do it. He's diving at every single baseball. He will go as hard as he can in practice until he's about to throw up. This guy does everything right, I think.
Our number 4 prospect, we have our number 1 catching prospect here in the Bears. It is Colby Lair. KJ, this is a guy who I think as soon as JT Byrne, as soon as Bernie, as soon as you, as soon as I saw him, we knew this guy was going to be a top 10 prospect. Work ethic, very, very good. He's a little bit on more of the raw side. I think that's what keeps him out of the top 3. But in terms of potential, I'm not sure that there's a guy in the top 50 that works harder. I'm not sure there's a guy in the top 50 with a higher ceiling than Colby Lair. KJ, 2 weeks you've known this guy, but what have you already thought about him as a future top player?
Yeah, Colby's the kind of guy, man. He'll put the body on the line for the team. He works his butt off every practice, and I think the bat is a work in progress. He's starting to learn how to swing hard. He's starting to learn our approach, but I think on the mound he's got all the tools. He's got velocity. He's got good breaking stuff. If we can get him more in the strike zone, I think he's going to be a ridiculous pitcher. He's so fast. He's so athletic, and I think the bat is just it's inevitable it comes around.
Bernie, coming in at number 5, it's going to be the number 1 13U prospect. And I'll tell you what, Bernie, this has been kind of that up-and-coming team in the Bears this year. This 13U Burnsville team has really taken a big step forward. And now you're adding another guy to this team that we think has a lot of potential, and that's Alex Vo, coming in at number 5, our number 1 13U prospect. Bernie, this guy, again, very athletic. He kind of fits your style of player where you got an athletic player who works really hard, who's good defensively. Alex Vo, Bernie, looks like he could be an emerging star for this team. What has been your first thoughts here of the rookie Alex Vo?
Yeah, like you said, obviously when you see Alex Vo, when he does anything baseball-related, this kid's an athlete. But if you go see him in the cage, this kid also swings very hard. He's one of those guys I liked. I think has a very rare combination of power and speed. Aaron Noel, Lucas Closter, even Mac Floyd-esque. He's not that right now, but at some point in his career, I think this guy's going to be a superstar.
Yeah, a very special player joining a very solid team. Getting into the rest of our top 10 here, I'm going to give you all 5 names at once. I'll go through a sentence or two about each player, and then KJ, Bernie, I want you to pick one guy that you kind of want to expand on here. At number 6, we've got 14U prospect Hank Schultz. He plays catcher, first, third, a guy who's got a lot of size and a lot of potential. Coming in at number 7 is Easton Martin. He's our number 1 17U prospect. Again, big size, a lot of power, a big arm off the mound. He could be a real difference maker for that Burn team. Coming in at number 8, we've got Landon Durbin, our number 1 12U prospect. Very slick defender. His bat's got to come around, but I think sky's the limit for this player. Super athletic. Coming in at number 9, we've got our number 1 15U prospect in Conrad Comiskey. Again, another rookie here. Very solid in the infield, very solid on the mound. Again, it's the bat that kind of needs to develop. And then coming in at number 10, it's our highest-ranked returning player, highest-ranked non-rookie. We have Lucas Colson, who, again, a guy who's worked very, very hard, great defensively, good on the mound, coming along at the plate. So 5 very good players here making out the rest of our top 10. Bernie, give me your thoughts here. Which of these guys you kind of want to expand on?
Yeah, I think the guy on the Isles 5 guys who's the most top team ready, who can make an impact on the top team right now is Conrad. This guy has just impressed me. He impressed me the first week, impressed me again this week. I know he can catch very well. JT's rated on the catcher's training. He always puts on a clinic, at least for me, defensively. And I think he's a pretty good hitter. I think this guy on a 15 Floyd team, it's already very good. I think he has the argument to be among that star list.
KJ, for you, between the rest of these guys, Hank Schultz, Easton Martin, Landon Durbin, and Lucas Colson, who do you want to kind of expand on here?
Yeah, I'll talk about Hank. This guy is already a very good player. And I think, the difference between him and Colby's intensity's here, but his talent right now may be here. Hank has all the talent, but I think bringing up Hank's intensity, getting him into the right, buying into our mentality, our swing recklessly, throw the ball hard as we can, I think getting him to buy into that is what's going to take Hank to the next level.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Hank Schultz. I think he's going to be a big-time player for the Bears. I think he could be a guy who one year could be in the competition to lead the Bears in home runs. He's got that kind of ceiling. So very excited to see Hank Schultz. Getting into our next 5, 11 through 15 here, we have Parker Kugler, our number 2 12U prospect, a guy who I'm very impressed with. I think he's got great size. I think the question for him is where are you going to find him on the field, but I think his bat and his athleticism is going to play. Gunnar Wilson coming in number 12. He's our number 4 16U prospect. He's our number 2 catcher prospect, a very solid player as well. Caden Roberts coming in number 13. Again, big-time hitter, good defender, doing big things for that Burn team. Dylan Graham coming in number 14. He's been in the Bears a long time. To me, for the last 5 months, he's really gotten involved. He's put up some big numbers for the second team and now getting his chance on the top team. And maybe our most impressive Driscoll player, Seth Mullen, had a monster summer. In terms of just production-wise, I don't think you can deny Seth Mullen's prospect pedigree. But, KJ, I'm going to let you go first here. Parker Kugler, Gunnar Wilson, Caden Roberts, Dylan Graham, and Seth Mullen. We've got 4 returners and 1 rookie. Who you got here, KJ, to kind of take a step forward into the top 10?
Yeah, I'll talk about Gunnar Wilson. This guy has, I think, maybe the best talent of everyone on the list. I mean, he has a rocket arm. He's an amazing catcher. I think the bat just is a work in progress, and he has a swing hard mentality. I think it's just honing in, keeping his head down, getting consistent with the bat. But I don't think it's crazy to say this guy's one of the best defensive catchers in the Bears. I mean, he throws runners all the time. He's a good block. He's got a rocket arm, and he's great on the mound too when he throws strikes. So I think just honing all that in. We'll take Gunnar to the next level.
Bernie, we've got Parker Kugler, Caden Roberts, Dylan Graham, and Seth Mullen. Which of these guys, we got 3 returners and a rookie here. Who could you see either getting off of this list, getting his at-bats to the top team, or moving into the top 10?
Yeah, I'll go with Parker Kugler. Now, I will say, my opinion has completely flipped this guy over the course of the first 2 practices. The first practice, he walked in. I called him Kane's arm sleeve. That's what he was wearing, and I thought he was, fairly lazy. I didn't think he worked very hard the first practice, but I'm going to chalk it up just kind of nerves because I saw him working free swing. This kid swings hard, and he's a very good hitter. I think he makes an immediate impact on the 12U Floyd team, and he came back out yesterday in practice, and I thought worked very hard. So I'm all the way back. I bought into the Parker Kugler train.
Yeah, in terms of ceiling, I think there's no 12U rookie that's got a higher ceiling than Parker Kugler. Again, it's just about finding a spot for him on defense and seeing if he can take somebody's job in that lineup. Coming in 16 through 20 here, we've got Nolan Chilton, Jacob Lowry, Kenny Douglas, Jude Blattner, and Darion Reese. Nolan Chilton, he is our number 6 16U prospect. Again, this age is so loaded. Chilton, I think, kind of leans more toward the pitching side in terms of his prospect pedigree, but certainly no slouch with the bat as well. Jacob Lowry, one of the more raw players on this list, but one of the guys with the highest ceiling and biggest work ethic. He's moved up in this list as he's kind of been in the Bears for longer and longer. He comes in at number 17. Kenny Douglas, a rookie. He is our number 3 catching prospect here. Defensively, I think he's already top team ready. Just what are you going to get from the bat and how is he going to develop as a player? Jude Blattner coming in at number 19. He's been a Bear for a little while. Develops nice as a catcher. He's developed nice in the infield, developed nice on the mound. Again, this age is just so loaded. When's he going to get his chance? And then coming in number 20, we've got another rookie, Darion Reese. Speed, power, athleticism. This guy's got it all. Just needs to kind of hone in on his baseball skill. Bernie, between these 5 guys, Chilton, Lowry, Douglas, Blattner, and Reese, who would you like to kind of expand on?
Yeah, I'll go with Jude. I know the 16U age here is kind of stacked. It's hard to find a way on the 16U Floyd roster, but I think Jude is always known as a bat-first player. And the one thing about 16U Floyd is they have a ton of good bats. But I think Jude, like you said, he's developed really nicely as an infielder, as a catcher, even as a pitcher, right? So you're talking about somebody that has given Rob a bunch of different options that, if he needs a bunch of different things, that Jude can end up making the roster at some point because he's still a very good hitter.
KJ, we got 2 veterans and 2 rookies here, Chilton, Lowry, Douglas, and Reese. Who would you like here?
Yeah, I'll go with another veteran guy. I'll go Jacob Lowry. Like you said, just a lot of rawness from Lowry. He swings the bat hard. He's one of the fastest players on this list. He throws the ball hard. I think it's just a whole thing of confidence with Lowry. Confidence and focus, I think, are his big things. I think all the talent is already there.
Moving into our 20 21 through 30 here, our next 10 prospects I'm going to group together. Again, I'm going to ask you guys each to pick one you want to expand on here. Coming in number 21, we have our third-ranked 15U prospect, Joey Haddikin. He moved up from number 37 in April. He's up here to number 21, a guy who's just been a great role player for the top team and a star for the second team. Just trying to put it all together here and really meet that ceiling. Quentin Choate is a 14U rookie. He's our number 6 14U prospect. Again, a little bit raw, but a lot of potential, a lot of talent there. Coming in number 23, Fletcher Chastain, lefty outfielder, very fast, very athletic, could be one of the best defenders in the Bears. Again, got to see how his bat develops. One of the biggest risers. This guy was not even in the top 50 when we did this in April, but he's moved all the way to the top team. That's Reed Rustio, our number 4 15U prospect, and our number 7 outfield prospect. Kobe Kennedy coming in number 25, big-time hitter. Again, kind of has that 6U problem where you can't break to that top team. It's so stacked. Christian Jenkins is a rookie, our number 5 catching prospect, number 8 14U prospect. Again, a guy who, when you look at him, doesn't look like a big-time player, but works really, really hard, and he's got a little bit of grit in him. He's a very impressive player to watch. Benny Wanners, our number 1 11U prospect, very slick with the glove, just kind of has to develop a little more baseball experience. Parker Wilson coming in at number 28. Very good athlete, very good defender. Just his bat is going to live or die with how far he makes it in the Bears. Colin Sandler is kind of the opposite. He's got the big-time bat. Can he find it on defense? Can he find it on the mound to kind of move up the ranks here at 16U? And finally, number 30, we've got Braden Young, a big athletic rookie who, again, just needs some reps to kind of develop into a big player. Bernie, that was 10 guys there, a lot of names here. If you want me to run through them again, I can. But what's one guy that stands out to you here?
Yeah, I'll talk about Braden Young. We talked about Alex Vogt being that combination of power and speed. But I think it's the more polished version. Braden's the more raw version. I think could even have a higher ceiling. I think there is a time where Braden could lead the Bears in home runs, at the very, very ceiling. But I think it's going to take a little bit to develop here. I don't think it's going to happen this fall necessarily. But if you're looking at next spring, this guy could be a big-time player by then.
KJ, I got 9 more guys. I got 5 rookies and 4 veterans. Who you like here?
Yeah, I really like Colin Sandler. He's got a really good bat. I think he's got a close to top team ready bat. But I think what's really going to get him to the top team and what's going to separate him is his arm. Right now, he's kind of all around the strike zone. But when this guy can throw strikes, he's got a legit curveball, and he throws hard, and he pitches from the left side. I think everything there is to love with Colin.
Tell you what, we're going to get into our top 40 here, number 31 through 40, and we're going to name some players who are big-time top prospects. So it just shows you how deep we are. These first 2 guys are both top team ready right now. Just shows you how deep we are at the prospect list. So let's get into number 31 through number 40. Coming in number 31, we have Liam Murphy, a rookie. This is a guy who very good defensively right now. Just needs to develop with the bat and really needs to put on some size, but a lot of potential. We've got Connor Murphy coming in at number 32. This guy's a veteran. No doubt this guy can hit. He's up 12 spots from where he was number 44 in April. He's number 32 now. No doubt about his offense, just where you're going to play him on the field. He's got to develop as a defender. Lucas Perry, one of the best pitching prospects in the Bears right now. This is a guy who, again, I think would be a top team starter at any other age in the Bears, but because he's at 16U, he's kind of still grinding through the ranks, but a very impressive pitcher. Dayton Eakins is a 17U rookie, our number 3 17U prospect. This is a guy I like a lot. I think he's got a lot of grit. Needs to put him some size, needs to build his metrics, but I think he's got a lot of potential. Colin Toms, kind of number 35. This is our number 5 13U prospect. Again, a guy who I think, when you look at him, doesn't necessarily look like a great player, but he works really, really hard and actually can hit the ball and throw the ball a little bit harder than you maybe would think. Josiah Leaker coming in number 36. Again, he's kind of been on the prospect list for a while. A guy who can pitch, he can hit, and he can play defense. Just needs to kind of put everything together and build some size to make it to that top team as a full-time player. Braden Colburn, number 37. In my opinion, one of the slickest infielders in the Bears, and also underrated as a hitter and a pitcher. Max Sandler coming in at number 38. One of the best pitching prospects. Again, I think he would move up, be a lot higher if he was at any age but 16U, but a very impressive pitcher as well. Johnny Armbruster got the size. His biggest problem is consistency at the plate, but in terms of potential, he's as good as anybody. And then number 40, we've got Carson Warner, a guy who I say, Bernie, you were talking about a player who your opinions changed on. Carson Warner is a guy I've completely flipped on in the last 3-4 months. I think he's been grinding. I think he's really moved up the ranks for me. This is a guy, again, who was unranked when we did this in April. Now he's here in the top 40. KJ got 10 names here. Who do you like of these 31 through 40s?
Oh yeah, I really like Lucas Perry. This guy's got really good stuff on the mound. He again just finding consistency with him. Sometimes he looks dominant, and sometimes he's all over the place. So I think just consistency and confidence with Lucas when he trusts his stuff. I mean, he's got breaking stuff to go along with anyone.
Yeah, big fan of Lucas Perry. I believe in him. I think he's going to be a top team guy at some point. Just needs to find his chance. Bernie, what about you? Who do you like here?
Yeah, I think me and you kind of share that opinion of Carson Warner. If there's one way when you first join the Bears to tick off the coaches in practice, it is to skip push-ups. And Carson Warner probably skipped push-ups the first 5 practices in a row. Literally every single week, we knew to count him, and he would skip every week. But I don't know some sort of light switch flipped or something in him where since January, February, this guy thought has worked really hard all season long, and now he's put himself in position to where he can make that 14th Floyd roster, make an impact here pretty soon.
Yeah, very excited about all of those guys, but Carson Warner, he's been a guy who's really kind of turned the tide on his career. Finally, here we have number 41 through number 50, and again, there were several players who I thought were left off this list that I thought really wanted to get in there. But let's get into number 41 through number 50. At number 41, we have Lucas Ostertag. He is a 13U player. He's a number 6 13U prospect. He's very raw, but I think works really hard and has some potential to move up the prospect list as the months go on here. Braden Miller coming in at number 42. He's a guy who's got all the size, all the potential in the world. Just needs to kind of find that production. Gavin Luchtefeld is a 15U rookie. He's our number 10 15U prospect. Defensively, I think he is very close to being top team ready. Just needs to learn how to swing like a bear. Andrew Mazzanelli is a guy who is a rookie. He's our number 13 16U prospect. Guy who works really hard. Guy I'm very impressed with. I think defensively, he's very, very solid. Just, again, needs to kind of develop as a hitter. Madden Hammondtree coming in number 45. He's our number 10 14U prospect. I think this guy's got all the skill in the world, just kind of needs to develop that bear mentality, develop that intensity, develop that toughness to kind of move up the list. Zach Reich coming in at number 46. He's our number 11 15U prospect. Again, kind of like Braden Miller. This guy's got a lot of talent. He's got big-time metrics. Just needs to put it together on the field. Henry Wiersmuller is a guy who I think kind of from week 1 to week 2 really turned my opinion on him. Worked very, very hard in the second week. Really kind of showed his intensity and willingness to get better. I think this guy's got a very high ceiling. Mac Weber coming in at number 48. This guy who I think could very quickly move up this list. I like Mac Weber a lot. I think he could be up 20 spots when we do this list again in November. A big fan of Mac Weber's. Chase Sutherland is a 13U rookie here. He comes in at number 49, a guy who I think is raw but has some high floor potential here that could move him up the list. And then finally at number 50, we have Tucker Pownall, a guy who I think is one of the most improved players in the Bears over the past 6 months. This is a guy who has worked really, really hard and just needs to get more baseball experience, but every single day it seems like he's getting better and better. Bernie, our number 41 through 50, a lot of promising players. None of the, most of these guys maybe not top team ready right now, but I think all have big potentials in the future. Who do you like here, number 41 through 50, Bernie?
Yeah, can you run through them for me real quick? Give me all 10 names again.
Yeah, we've got Ostertag, Miller, Luchtefeld, Mazzanelli, Hammondtree, Reich, Wiersmuller, Weber, Sutherland, and Pownall.
Yeah, I'll talk about Mac Weber. Look, this guy, he was one of those guys when he joined the Bears that, I'm not being mean or anything, but could hardly play baseball, right? He dropped a lot of baseballs right at his chest. He swung and missed in cage, even in soft toss. I think this guy's worked really hard. Going from basically the bottom of the age group to now a decent little trained player that I think could become a top trained player soon, and eventually go on to play for Driscoll at some point. So this guy works hard, and this guy keeps getting better and better.
KJ, who do you like here between 41 and 50?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Henry Wiersmuller. This guy is just an animal. He works really hard in practice. He's really gritty. And I think he's, not a bad player right now either. He's pretty good in the field. He's got a good bat. So I think, he's starting from a place that not a lot of the Bear guys start at. But I think he's going to get to here like a lot of the Bears guys do.
Tell you what, that's going to be our top 50 prospects. I did want to go ahead and run through some honorable mentions. We're not going to expand on these guys at all, but I did want to throw their names out there. These guys just missed out on the top 50. Ben Grosjean, Preston Eisenberg, Gabriel Brown, Alex Demertzes, Thomas Melka, Liam Killian, Everett Faber, Brett Doherty, Braden Ream, Hugh Holloway, and Caden McBride, who I think all deserve an honorable mention. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Bears Baseball Network. Again, send your hits, doubles, triples, and homers into bearsbaseballnetwork@gmail.com to be featured on the next Hack and Time. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Bears Baseball Network, and we'll talk to y'all next week.